Good 10-minute Tuesday, people. Happy to be here. Happy you're here. I hope you are liking these and subscribing and clicking that little bell that will let you know when the new ones have arrived. It's the easiest way to keep track of what's coming on Sunday morning with our worship service. The easiest way to keep track of 10-minute Tuesday, and then Funtastic Friday. So my friends, welcome. I thank you for joining us. Again, please subscribe, like, and click. It helps our church on the YouTube channel. Thank you again for joining. Let's get started. We're going to talk about no time for rest. Let me share with you the scripture. It comes from the Gospel of St. Mark, the first chapter, and I'm going to be reading chapter 1, verses 28 through 39. Jesus has been baptized in Mark. He's beginning his ministry. He immediately goes to the synagogue in Capernaum and preaches, and then this is what follows. He heals people there in that synagogue, and this is what follows. At once, Jesus' fame spread everywhere throughout all the surrounding region of the Galilee. And immediately he left the synagogue and entered into the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. Now, Simon's mother-in-law lay sick with a fever, and immediately they told Jesus of her. He came and took hold of her hand and lifted her up, and the fever left her, and she then served them. That evening at sundown, they brought to him all who were sick or possessed with demons, and the whole city was gathered together about the door of Simon's mother-in-law's house. And Jesus healed many who were sick with various diseases and cast out many demons. And he would not permit the demons to speak because they knew him. And in the morning, a great while before day, Jesus rose and went to a lonely place, and there he prayed. And Simon and those who were with him pursued him. And they found him, and they said, "Everyone is searching for you." And he said to them, "Then let us go on to the next towns, so that I may preach there also. For that is why I came out." And he went throughout all Galilee, preaching in their synagogues and casting out demons. Now, I'm going to share with you some things in just a few moments, but let's just go back and look. You know, Simon and Andrew were brothers, sons of Zebedee, and they were the first two people that he called to be his disciples. Now, already it says in verse 28, his fame had spread everywhere throughout the Galilee. So I'm assuming that Jesus was going to Simon and Andrew's house, not really expecting to find his mother-in-law sick, but she was. Jesus came over and took her hand and lifted her up. We all need to be lifted up. He lifted her up, and it says the fever left her, and she served them. Literally, she waited on them. Waitstaff served them a meal. There was no time for her to rest. We would like to think someone would have said, "Jesus, let her go in and take a nap. She's had this fever." Nothing is said of that. There is just no time to rest. She gets up and serves people. That's what it's all about. And it says that evening at sundown, they brought all who were sick or possessed demons to Jesus. In other words, the whole city gathered around this woman's door, and she is serving people. She is entertaining. She is having them in, and they are being healed. It says he healed many. Then he goes to bed. Late in the night, he retires. But it says a great while before day, Jesus rose and went to a lonely place, and there he prayed. He needed to be alone. He needed some separation from the crowd. But his disciples pursued him, it says. They followed him, simply saying, Jesus, this is no time to rest. It's time to heal. They found him and they said to Jesus, everyone is searching for you. Everyone is searching for you. Have you ever felt that kind of pressure when everybody wants a piece of you? They want to share some time. They want some of your wisdom. They want some of your counsel. They simply want some of your presence. Yeah, I know what it's like, and most ministers do know what it's like. And Jesus said to them, then let us go to the next town so that I may preach there also. This is why I came out. And they went throughout the Galilee preaching. Now, my friends, let's look at some of this text that we have before us. And I want to share a message with you, a short message, more than 10 minutes, I know, about everybody is searching for you, or there's no time to rest. Let's look at this for a moment.
Your mercy, how great are the things that you have done for me. How great are you, Lord, your loving kindness is filling my heart. Your love. How great is your love? It reaches to the heavens. How great is the heart that sought and rescued me. How great are you, Lord? Your mercy, how great are the things that you have done for me. How great are you, Lord, your loving kindness is filling my heart. How great are you, Lord? How great is your love? It reaches to the heavens. How great is the heart that sought and rescued me. How filling my heart as I sing.
The great architect, Frank Lloyd Wright. Frank Lloyd Wright built a house called the Farnsworth House, so it has a special place in my heart. And when I was at seminary at the University of Chicago working on my doctorate, there was what was called the Roby House, right across from Disciples Divinity House at the University of Chicago. That's where I stayed. He was always fond of an incident that seemed insignificant to him at the time, but made a profound difference in his life later on. It was winter. He was 9 years old. He went walking across a snow-covered field with his reserved, no-nonsense uncle. As the two of them reached the far end of the field, his uncle stopped and asked him to turn around and look at his footsteps. He pointed out his own tracks in the snow. They were straight and true as an arrow would fly through the sky. And then young Frank Lloyd Wright's tracks were meandering this way and that way and on all sides of the road, looking at the fence, looking beyond the fence to the woods, and then back again. His uncle said, "Do you see how my tracks aim directly at my goal? There's an important lesson in that." Years later, this famous architect liked to tell the experience that contributed to a philosophy of life. He said, "I determined right then," he said with a twinkle in his eye, "not to miss the things in life that my uncle had missed." You see, we can sometimes go so straight toward our goal, we miss the joys that are all around us. It's not the destination, but it's the journey that's important. You'll hear that again in a few moments. We all recognize that any goal in life worth achieving demands a great deal of our energy. Just consider the various occupations that demand of us time, study, energy, and preparation. Think on it for just a moment. We all recognize that any goal worth achieving in life demands a great deal of our energy. If you are a doctor, you spend hours alone in the lab and residency studying the human body because the life of your patients demand it. If you're a teacher, you live in the library researching your subject, preparing your lectures, preparing your mind for the minds of your students. Demand it. If you're a carpenter, you must patiently measure the building before you drive the first nail. The integrity of that structure depends on it. If you're a mother, you must sacrifice your life for your children, for they require it and demand it. But now, here is what young Frank Lloyd Wright discovered at the tender age of 9 years old, and what most of us don't learn until we're 59 or 69 or older. The object in life is not the goal, but the journey on the way is the goal. The road, the progress is what is important in life. Jesus understands that his mission and his ministry is greater than any one person, but that one person demands his total loyalty and focus. His disciples really didn't help matters much when he was trying to go out and get some time alone and pray. They came after him. They pursued him, saying, "Lord, everybody is searching for you." How do you enjoy the journey when everybody and everything is searching for you, wanting a piece of you, demanding some of your time? How do you enjoy that kind of journey? First of all, let's think of several things. We got to remember that hard work in life is required. It is required of us to work diligently at what we're called to do. We may want a little sleep, a little slumber. We may want a little folding of the hands and leaning back into that lazy boy chair. We may just feel we deserve it and that we need it. But when that alarm rings, there is little time for sleep, little time for slumbering. No, we work because well living in our life demands it. Any of you who are grandparents have probably said this to your grandkids at one time or other. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. That's what we're called to do. One person one time asked me at New Hope, they said, "You preach here like we are a 200 or 300 member church. We've got 35 people out here." I said, "Yeah, I wouldn't preach any differently if you were 350. So here is what it is. It demands our absolute best. All right, the sun sets in this small town, and everybody brings their sick to Jesus, and they gather at the door of Peter's mother-in-law, and I'm sure she couldn't have imagined starting her day that way with a deadly fever that was raging in her body, but that she would end up entertaining 12 disciples and their rabbi, and then later in that day ending up entertaining the myriads of people that came for healing that had descended on her home. At some point that evening, they all finally did get to sleep. But instead of sleeping in late in the morning, Jesus got up early, before dawn, leaves the house to pray, to be alone. And when his disciples find him in the solitude of that prayerful moment, what do they say? "Everybody is searching for you, Jesus." And Jesus could have said any number of things at that point. But instead of trying to get across the obvious, that he's trying to have a moment alone, all he said was, "You're right, Simon, you're right. Let's go on to the next town so that we can get started there." No rest for even Jesus, let alone the wicked. No rest. He went on. Now, at this point in time, on another day, I might tell you to stop your work and take a moment and rest. I want to include that in here. It is important at times to refresh yourself, get out of the hustle and bustle of life, quit spinning your wheels, and to rest and to take that moment like Jesus did to pray. Now, secondly, when everyone is searching for you, you should remember to not let others, not let those who are searching for you, define your goal. How do you work hard and keep it from killing us? You take some time off. You move out to a lonely place like Jesus did. You take some vacations with your family. You even just stop for a coffee at Tim Hortons on the way home from a busy day at work. Now, my question is, who is searching for Jesus? Are the disciples? The sick he healed? The mother-in-law? I think all were searching for him, but there's more that's happening here. There's more that's happening in life. We must be steadfast toward our goal and yet move from side to side and enjoy the journey. Finally, when everyone is searching for you, you've got to remember to stop and pray. Our Lord needed to do so, and so do you. It is so easy to get so preoccupied with what we have to do tomorrow, we forget that there is only one thing ahead of us, and that is today's minutes. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow is not here. All we have is today. And if we take care of the work that we have to do today without stopping and resting very long, we will be fine in life. We will be fine in life. Jesus had little time to rest, and so do we. We as disciples are called to follow him where he goes, to do what he did, to heal, to make whole, to give rest, to give food, to tend the sheep. That's what we're called to do. Is there any time to rest doing those kinds of things? Yes, there is. But we got to get up and get to work also. God bless you. See you on Funtastic Friday. Bye-bye for now.